thank you, Mayor, City Council members, and City staff for indulging us all and taking up this very difficult topic. If you could run the video, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Cases very closely, and including cases that involve government code section.
Pause that for a moment. This didn't start at the beginning.
Which does apply exclusively to cities, which came from the law firm of Jones and Myers. That we in fact, we work very close. Madam Chairwoman, supervisors, we've been following the cases very closely, and including cases that involve government code section 37-100, which does apply exclusively to cities, which came from the law firm of Jones and Myers. That we in fact, we work very closely with that law firm and receive a lot of information from them. The case of significance that we've been following is the Qualified Patients versus City of Anaheim case. That case has raised the grand questions of whether a ban is permissible. We've read over all the briefs and indeed followed the oral argument questions posed by the court. We believe that the most likely outcome is going to be twofold. Federal law does not preempt California's Compassionate Use Act. The alternative argument was that the Compassionate Use Act, state law, does not preempt the City of Anaheim from enacting a ban. And having read all the papers again, we think that also, the most likely result will be against the City of Anaheim, and that the appellate court will rule that the Compassionate Use Act does preempt a complete ban. Even if the City of Anaheim were to prevail, which I think is unlikely at this point, it would certainly be appealed, and then we would probably be looking at a couple more years before having any further decision.
The law is the law. I was personally opposed to the court cases that were filed by this board because I felt that, as I do now, it was basically going to be a waste of time and money, and it turned out that that was the case. I am concerned right now, especially with the modified motion, that we are, in effect, reducing the sites down to what may be next to none. And I think in the spirit of the law, that, to me, that's not complying with the law. The most compelling testimony we heard today, and we heard a lot of good testimony, but the report that was prepared by Karen Valentine, I think was very thoughtful, and I think presents some of the problems associated with even the less restrictive sightings. You know, if the goal is to try to minimize this and to comply with the law in a superficial way, that you're not going to make facilities available, then I think that's what we're doing, and that's why I'm having a problem. I think we ought to comply with the law, and I think we ought to comply with the spirit of the law, and I think we should have, in different geographic areas, an availability of these facilities. I guess I've been the odd person out since we've started work on this, and I'll continue to be, because with the modification that's been made, I don't feel comfortable in supporting the motion. I would have supported the motion as it was presented and recommended by the staff. Even then, I think it would require revisiting. I'm certain that this is going to require revisiting it at some point. And I'd be surprised even if it's upheld, although I hear what they're trying to say. It's your call. I guess we could say 2,000 feet also, and reduce the sites down to maybe one in all an incorporated area. But I don't think we're following the spirit of the law. Perhaps maybe the letter, but I have some concerns, and I have some concerns as to the way this should be done.
We have concerns too.
The law is the law. The law is the law.
We have concerns, and that's why we're here today. I have asked you for an ordinance, and initially you gave me the impression that you were going to work towards that. When we switched to city attorneys, the new city attorney had no impression of working towards an ordinance. So somewhere along the line, there was a flip-flop. The request by the city manager to tell the grand jury, which you would never tell the grand jury no to any other indictment in this world, to tell the grand jury no to their recommendations outright is wrong. You know it's wrong. You wouldn't do that for any other thing that they say. Now, there's 3 reasons why the city is asking you to continue this moratorium. One is the Anaheim case. The Anaheim case isn't going to be decided for years, and when it is decided, it's already in our favor. Number 2, the reason would be legalization. Legalization is a non-issue. In the city, in the staff's report, it even says legalization, the voters are going to decide in November whether medical marijuana is legalized. That is called an inconsistency.
Mr. Boyd, your time's up on this one. Sorry if you wanted to see the video on that, but thank you very much. Tracy Rivera, you also have some time donated from, does it look like Gina? I can't pronounce the last name. Is she here? Just somebody donated time to Tracy here?
Just wait.
You just need to let me know because I can't be having time donated unless that person is present. Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
So
Mayor.
you're 6 minutes too.
Thank you, Mayor. City Council, City staff, thank you for hearing me today. I'm a little nervous because of the cameras, and the reason why I'm a little nervous is because I'm going to share a very personal story with you, and so I'd like you to hear me out and give me a little leeway in what I'm saying because I am a bit nervous due to the cameras. My name is Tracy Rivera, and I am a local business owner here in ID. My office is located at 1239 Palm Avenue. And I'd like to start out by saying I am 100% against drugs. I have a family history, and I've seen it destroy families, and I'm 100% against drugs. But I am very much in support of medical marijuana and ID having medical marijuana dispensary. I am a qualified patient, and I do smoke medical marijuana. And standing before you with what I believe I have customers in the audience here, I realize that is a bold doing so in front of TV. It's a scary thing to come up and say, but the reason why I am is because I'm 100%, it has changed my life. And I'd like to share this story with you. About 20 years ago, I was involved in a car accident, and I have lived with chronic pain for so long that my pain threshold has grown to be so high that when I go to the dentist, I don't get Novocaine. I get my teeth worked on without Novocaine because I can handle the pain more than I can the medicine. I've taken prescribed Vicodin and other narcotics for a period of time that my body has never rejected them, and I've become allergic to them. They put me in more pain, so I cannot take any narcotics, and I'm allergic to them. I was recommended that I try the medical marijuana, and I have, and it's absolutely changed my life, and in so many ways. As far as my pain management, the insomnia, and even ADD, I'm much more focused on a lot of things. And I know when I share this story with people, a lot of response I get is, it just makes you stupid and lazy, and it's whatever. It's, Gary knows me, I'm from Kiwanis that I'm involved in. I'm not a lazy person. I'm politically involved. I run a successful agency, and I'm very much involved in my community as well as other communities. And I'm a mother of 2 teenage children. May 17th, I had replacement ACL surgery done on my knee. I met with 3 anesthesiologists beforehand because I expressed and talked to my doctor, I'm allergic, I cannot take narcotics. How can we do this? I use medical marijuana as my medicine. Can we do this surgery? And my doctor said, I don't know, we'll try. So I met with the anesthesiologist, and they wanted to inject morphine into my knee. Well, I know for a fact that morphine puts me in an excruciating amount of pain, so I can't have it. So the deal was they were going to put me back under just so I can handle the morphine. I told them that with my high pain tolerance level, that I believe that I could do it without the morphine. So they came up with a plan and injected an anti-inflammatory in my knee. I left the hospital with the surgery, ate a cookie an hour, and I was able to get through the surgery with ice and the recovery. I am weeks ahead of any of the other patients that my doctor had seen with the surgery. And I believe it's because I wasn't drugged to not be able to do the necessary work needed. I was able to do the exercises and do the work that was required because I just used it for pain control. And what didn't make me stupid. And where I know a lot of people feel it does make somebody stupid, in the right doses and the right amounts, it does not. I wrote myself some notes here, so bear with me. I mentioned that I have 2 teenage children, and I thought about this. This is new to me. I've only been about 6 months since I've gotten my card and have done this. I realize there's different strains that do different things. I'm learning it. I keep a journal, so I know exactly what does for what things for me. But I had to sit and think about this because I'm so against drugs and because I preached that to my children. I felt very hypocritical. So I had to think about it. If my child or children would need this, would I allow it? And my decision was, if it was medically necessary, then yes, I would. And that was a big statement, but it is not, they don't need it, so I told them, no, you can't. But for the medical reasons that it's needed, I fully 100% support it. It has changed my life. I don't believe recreational use for minors is at all. I know that's not, I don't need to get into that because that's not what's on the state or what's you guys are going to vote on tonight, but I would request that you not put on a moratorium and allow a safe access facility here in IB. I understand that this proposed facility is 3 doors away from my own office, and I had to think about that, as well as coming out in front of cameras and in front of you and basically outing myself as a medical marijuana user. But again, because of the change it brought to my life, I feel very strongly in support of it, and feel that they're I don't know, but I feel that there's lots and lots of people that, and I don't know, I know American Safe Access has done the research and done the things, and I really urge you to spend time with them and come up with some ordinance that work for us as business owners in the community, work for us as community residents in the community. I'm not a resident in the community, but I am a business owner. And come up with a solution. I have been to probably 3 dispensaries in San Diego. When you walk in, it's a locked facility. You have to check in and show ID, and they verify the ID, and then you're allowed to go in and purchase medical marijuana very much like you would in a drugstore, different things. If at all possible, may I suggest visiting these if you can, just get an idea of it.
Your time's up, but
thank you very much for your time, and I do appreciate it. And I hope that
was John, how?
Good evening again, Mayor and City Council persons. My name is John Haupt. I reside at 177 Palm Avenue, and I have to admit I am addicted to Marlboro Reds. And I believe they're probably more dangerous than some of the substances that these people may be wanting to have legalized for medicational use. Medications, an awful lot of them have side effects that can be more dramatic, and a lot of these in this economic environment can be very costly to people. And medical use of marijuana may be a very rational use. I look at this as somewhat of a facade myself. I think it's just the potential for leading to the legalization of both recreational and medical marijuana. And I'm not saying I'm against that. I also see the effects of alcohol living near the plank, a legalized substance that kills way many more people than I'm sure marijuana does. I read the Eagle and Times. I see about a third of the people are locked up or arrested for alcohol problems, another third for other miscellaneous things, and maybe a third for controlled small substances. The arrest of those people can lead to a really traumatic effect on their lives if they need passports, century passes, all kinds of things, getting into schools. The next state election, I believe, may have an item up for election of actually the legalization of not only medical use, but also recreational use of marijuana. A thought would be that today people do buy those products anyway, with revenues going who knows where, quality control lacking, and not protecting the public from possibly some defective product that could have some negative effect, and a loss of revenue to various levels of government. I would just want to suggest, why would we want to spend more taxpayer money in this environment fighting or prolonging and studying this when it may be legal within a year? So I would urge City Council to consider possibly not prolonging this moratorium. Thank you.
Thank you. Lance Rogers, we have a long meeting this evening. I understand you might enjoy some of the things people say, but trying to keep the meeting going is more important to us here so we can get through the hearing here and take action. Lance?
Good evening. My name is Lance Rogers. I'm a resident of downtown San Diego, but I am a lawyer and run a law firm that represents patients as well as organizations in the Imperial Beach area. I'm here tonight to just encourage this municipality to consider regulating medical marijuana, and here to oppose a moratorium or an extension on the moratorium. Specifically addressing the city manager's concerns, the Anaheim case, again, that is the Qualified Patients Association, the City of Anaheim, should have a decision here within a couple of weeks at the appellate court level, and I would concur with Mr. Boyd's comments that it's likely one way or the other that will then be appealed, and so there may be a while to get a determination one way or the other on that issue. Specifically, that case addresses whether municipalities are preempted by California state law. As you've heard, I'm sure, the Compassionate Use Act has been here for 14 years. The Medical Marijuana Program Act has been here since 2003. And this is state law. It's not going anywhere. The state has recognized that qualified patients have a right to access medical marijuana. And the issue becomes, can cities then craft ordinances that ban that entirely? And that's what that case will be about, and we're waiting to see. It does appear that the court will find that state law does trump local law, and that this is a right that California citizens have access to this medicine. So again, I would encourage this council to consider a plan to regulate medical marijuana and access to medical marijuana at this point. In addition, to address Proposition 19, the Control, Regulate, Tax Cannabis Initiative, which is on the ballot for November 2nd. I am active in that campaign as well, and would wish to inform this council that will not affect the current medical marijuana laws. It's apples and oranges. The medical marijuana laws, again, have been around for a long time. There are standards and customs associated with running a cooperative or a collective. There are ways to manage these facilities. There are ways for them to regulate themselves, for municipalities to regulate how they operate, paying sales tax, verifying patient qualifications, and again, there is a way to manage this so it's not a free-for-all pot shop type scenario. And we see local ordinances passing regulations and managing these, and we're hopeful that we can come to an era of access and regulation here shortly. I'm a former criminal defense attorney, and I jokingly say I'm hoping to put myself out of business because I'm hopeful that I can help people comply with the law and operate within a system that, again, will not be a free-for-all. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I close the public hearing, is there anything that the council would like to, or we just go into discussion and close the public hearing? That concludes that public